What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. Today we're doing something different. I am reviewing this Shokz OpenComm2 UC. And it's called UC because it has a USB-C or A connector that allows you to connect directly to a PC. And that's actually how I'm connected now. So I can't really show you the dongle, but I'll add it in later. But the dongle is plugged into my Pixel 8 Pro, and so now this thing is talking from the USB-C port on my Pixel to this device. So everything you're hearing is through this microphone, and this microphone is attached as a boom. You can lift it up and down, and if I have it tucked away, you can't really hear it. So you can only hear clearly if I have that mic down. Okay, there is a mute button here which I'll press. I'll continue to talk, and so you won't hear me for a second. So I hit the mute button, and I hear in my ear that mute is off, and so you can hear me once again. So it talks to you to let you know what's going on. I hit my volume button, so on the side I have my down volume, the up volume and down volume are here. So if I click it, now because I'm connected through the USB-C, it's not telling me the same things it would tell me if I was connected to just Bluetooth. This is a Bluetooth device, so it'll connect to my phone via Bluetooth or via this USB-C dongle. Now the dongle is typically used on a PC or Mac to be able to connect for Zoom and things like that. But again, it works with my Pixel as well. So let's talk about it. So it's going to be a little different on what I'm doing here today. Again, I can mute it. I have controls on here for volume up and down. The power button, the up volume is the power button as well. So if you hold that down, it'll turn the device off. If you hold it down, it'll turn it back on. On this side, you have just one multi-purpose button here. This is for answering the phone, hanging up the phone, playing music, pausing the music. Double tap it to go to the next song. Triple tap it, and it'll go to the previous song. So real simple controls, very light. As you can see, let's see the back. It has a wraparound connector that connects both pieces. It's rigid. Rigid and flexible. Okay, I can lean up against things. This pillow is kind of in the way. I'll just lift it up a little higher. You can see as I lean back on it, it will kind of get in the way sometimes, but you can just simply move it and you're fine. It will shift. You can shift these things up or down to give your head clearance, depending on what you're wearing. But I typically go up and don't have any problem with that. Even when you're pressing the back, obviously this is still going to touch your head, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable or anything when you move it out the way. I had their original product when they used to be called AfterShokz. It was real rigid. The connector around the head connector was very hard, very large, very uncomfortable. And then I had the second version that it got better, lighter, but for some reason, I don't know what happened to either one of those devices. I lost them somewhere along the way. And so I've had many other types of headsets over the years. One of my favorites that I had for many years was these LGs. You hang them over like a necklace. They were in your ear, but when you didn't need them, you took them out and just let them drop. They had magnetic things here that will hold them up there as well. But you can put them in your ear when you needed them and then take them out when you didn't. And I didn't mind that because they were light around your neck and you didn't have to worry about so much. Shokz offers a product that headsets that are two separate pieces that just hook onto your ear. I don't like that because then those get into the arena like these buds, right? You have two separate buds. You could lose one of them. So I don't like that concept of it. I would prefer that they came out with something similar to the LG, where you had this thing that kind of wrapped around your neck, and then you can lift up there and hook it up to your ear like this. Okay, but they don't make anything like that. But I've had many different headsets. Now, the best headset that I own are Bose Quiet Comfort. They go over your ear when I'm flying. I get on the plane, the engine noise totally disappears, and I the world disappears, and I can just enjoy my flight and don't have to worry about anything. Um, I've had the Google Pixel that goes with my Pixel phone. This is the Pixel Buds 1. I think I ran over one. It fell out the car and I didn't know. And I found it the next day, thought it was fine, but apparently got ran over by a car probably twice. And so the left side just stopped working. So I got the Pixel Bud 2, and they were even better because I was able to find the missing Pixel Bud because they have the function find my earbud. Um, and so I was able to find it, but it never worked the same. I bought the version 2, the Pixel Bud 2, Pixel Buds 2, and it had an upgraded feature where you can actually, if you lost or couldn't find them, you can have it beep, and the actual earbuds would have a tone that you can actually find them if they were down in a cushion or something in your couch. And that was nice. But for some reason, the material that the Buds 2 was made of, it inflamed my ear, something terrible. I've never, ever had a problem with any earbuds in my life. So I don't know what material they use with that. I had the kind of orangish pinkish color one, and I don't know, maybe it was the dye, the color, but something irritated me, something horrible. My ears would be crusty, they would be inflamed, they would be painful. Even if I didn't have anything in there, I had to get rid of those things. And luckily, Amazon let me return them, and I bought these instead. And why did I buy these from Shokz? Because I was thinking back to when AfterShokz, and I love the concept of these bone conducting headsets. Nothing goes in your ear, it just goes on the side of your cheek. And it vibrates on your bone to transmit the sound. Now, if you've never tried these, it's when you think about it, it's like that's a weird concept, but these things are incredible. Um, but I hadn't had them for years, so I had a buddy that picked up a pair, and I said, well, I want to get another pair, but I went with these what they call communication headsets because it has this built-in mic, again, that you can flip out the way and bring it down when you need it. But I keep it down all the time, and I don't know how it looks to you. Um, I've never had any people make any comments about like, hey, um, welcome to Good Burger. How do you like your Good Burger? Like I'm working at a drive-through service or something. No one's made any silly comments like that. My wife, if there's anything with my tech, because she's not a tech person and she just resists technology any chance she gets. If this looked weird to her, she would have let me know a long time ago because she would tell me if something's weird. I used to wear the old style Bluetooth thing in my ear, and she used to get irritated. Take that thing out of your ear. You don't need that. You're not even talking to anybody. So she'll let me know if it's weird or looks crazy, because she don't want to be embarrassed by the technology, right? Even if she's not wearing it. She has not made one comment about these things. I forget these things are here because they are so light. And even the mic, I leave it down all the time. The few times I do lift it up is the time I get a call, and I answer the call by tapping the button, and I'm talking, and people are like, hello, hello. I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to bring it down. So that's the biggest complaint I have is I forget to bring the boom down sometimes. So that's why I just leave it down. And when you're going back against things, you see how that thing is kind of bouncing, right? Moving. That is a real issue. But again, you can just simply move it up and you can be comfortable on the couch, chair, whatever. The area where that comes in the most is with hats. So most hats I could put on no problem. I wear all kinds of different hats, and it won't be a problem wearing that. I don't know, did my other hat, here it is here. Hat works perfectly fine, no problem. Even my bigger hats, I can wear those, no problem. Doesn't interfere me hearing anything, me talking through the mic, none of that. Okay. The only types of hats that could be a problem, I can put on a ski mask and I have no problem. It doesn't like push into my head or face so much that I can't use it, but it will muffle the mic because it presses the mic up against my skin or something, or just in the material. You can still hear me, though it will be different than without it. But the hat that has the biggest issue, appearance-wise and function-wise, is a skull cap. So, for example, I have this skull cap here. All right. So you put the skull cap on, you'll notice that you have these gaps here. So it doesn't seal all the way down to keep the cold air out. And the back, you can see there, it lifts that out because this is firm. Now, could I lift it up like when you're on a chair? Kind of, you can't because it's just the way the material, that's lifted up a little bit better, but it's still, so it's sealed out a little bit better, so you can manipulate it. But this is the biggest issue you have with this thing, is because you have that around the head band. You can see there it's not sealing to keep the cold out as much as it would. So this type of hat is the hat that will give you the most issues with this type of headset. But it's not that big of a deal. But it's just something you need to be aware of. So it's a real simple product. Works great. Let me just look at my notes here. Crystal clear voice. You're hearing what people would hear on the phone if they were talking to me. The battery life is incredible. I don't even have to think about charging this thing. Now, with these other buds, they have a short battery life, so you have to periodically put them back in their case and charge them up. I never have that problem. I listen to stuff all day on YouTube and on social medias, and I listen to music all the time. I've never had to worry about battery life during the day at all. Most of the times, by the time I get done with the day, when you tap the volume button, it'll speak to you and tell you battery high, battery medium, battery low. It's always either a high and medium. I don't even recall many times that the battery was low because it gets through the day. Typically what I'll do is sometimes I'll charge at night, and most times I don't. I think I put it on the charger maybe twice a week, if that. I never even have to think about it. I never have to plug it into my car and charge it while I'm driving, because in my car I'm listening to things on the car speaker, right? That would be a prime opportunity to charge up this device if it was an issue, but it's not an issue. So battery life is awesome. The other thing is it has multi-pairing. So this button right here, well, this has nothing to do with multi-pairing. This is for answering the phone, hanging up the phone, playing your music, pausing music, double tap to go to the next song, triple tap to get to the previous song. But it has multi-pairing, and what that allows you to do is my headsets are paired with my Pixel Watch. It's paired with my iPad. It's paired with my computer. It's paired with my Switch. All my Bluetooth devices it is paired with, and so I can listen to in my ear and still hear everything around me. And that is where these things really shine. They sound incredible. If I was to hook this up to my computer and have this thing blasting in my ear, or not in my ear, but blasting where I'm listening to it at its maximum volume, you standing away from me could barely hear that I'm listening to anything through my headset. It's just that good because the sound is going through the vibration. Now, so for reference, this speakers is blasting in my ear, and I did hear that you can barely hear it as being someone near me. And again, if I put this mic up, I'm gonna touch it this time. So I apologize if I'm shouting. I think I was shouting earlier. Okay, so you can hear it, no doubt, but not as loud. I mean, this is loud. This is as loud as this. If I switch back to the speakers. Okay, that's how loud it is in my ears at maximum. But you weren't hearing it at that level. Let's stop that. If I had these off my ear and put them in the case and had it enclosed and had something playing, you could hear it because it's vibrating against that case. But up against my face, even if I was sitting in the plane next to somebody and had it blasting, they will hear almost nothing. The things work incredible. But I can still hear everything around me. And it is to the point where sometimes my wife goes to say something so softly that my volume is up high. I have to turn down the volume to hear, but I don't have to take anything off my ears because there's nothing on my ears. So that is what separates this from other things that you put in your ear, over your ear. You can still hear. So if you're out running, you can still hear everything. You hear cars. If you're cycling, you can still hear the cars, horns, people yelling, "Hey, watch out!" Whatever. Hear somebody running up behind you when you're jogging. Nothing is in your ear, and yet you can hear everything. If it starts to rain, get windy, and it's blowing dirt around, there's nothing to get plugged in. You don't have to worry about, the getting plugged up with earwax or in the dirt. There's nothing. These things are rated for, I'll put up on the screen, but they're rated so as long as you don't dunk it in water and just keep it underwater for whatever time, you can splash water on this. You can't swim with this, but they do have a version that if you're a swimmer and you want to be able to listen to it, they have one that you can swim with. So they have all kinds of different models, but this is in their communication lineup, not necessarily their headset, even though they're basically the same as those with just this boom on it. But if you have never tried Shokz, you can get these at Best Buy, Amazon, all over the place, but you can try them out at a place like Best Buy. I definitely highly recommend it. What can I say? It comes with this case. I've never had to use this case since I've had this since early September. It's molded so it fits right in there to close up. It came with a USB cable, USB-C to USB-C. It came with the dongle, which I'm using. That's the only thing I don't like about the case. You have all this extra space here. There's no place to plug that USB dongle in if you're traveling. You can kind of tuck it up behind this wire, but it could get lost. So in future ones, I wish they would fix that so that you have a place to plug that in, so that when you're traveling, you don't lose your USB dongle. That USB dongle is available in USB-C, which I have, but also in USB-A, so that you can plug into a standard USB port on your computer. Trying to think anything else. Oh yes. So the only thing I don't like about it is with the call assistance. Normally you can hold down, with other devices, you can hold down the multifunction button and get Google Assistant or Siri and those type of things. It doesn't work. I just have to speak and have my phone do those things. I can't activate it with this button. So that is a little weird that they wouldn't have that. It works flawlessly with your desktop, whether it's Mac or PC, for like Zoom calls, team calls, your phone calls, if you have, your work phone going through your computer. Listen to music on your PC, no problem. I did want to point out with the USB-C, when it's plugged into like my phone, obviously the phone sees it as you're hearing me now, but it doesn't see it the same way it sees it if it's a if it's a Bluetooth connected device. So what does that mean? So if I had my headset on and I was connected Bluetooth to my phone and had the USB-C dongle plugged into my PC, I can seamlessly jump between PC and my phone, as what they call the Multipoint system. I can jump between my iPad, switch all those other devices. But when it's plugged into my phone, it's seen as a PC. I'm not able to do anything with this other than with that device in the Pixel phone. So that's a caveat there. And if I unplug that, it'll tell me in the thing, mic disconnected or whatever, microphone disconnected or whatever. But I would have to turn off this device and turn it back on before it'll reconnect to the Bluetooth. No big deal, but just so you're aware. It has an app, a Shokz app, and the Shokz app allows you to turn off the ability to have multiple devices. So if you just want to be connected to your phone, you don't want it to try and connect to your iPad or your watch or any of those other things, you can just turn off that function through the app. Additionally, you can have 5 devices: your iPhone, your phone, iPhone, Android device, iPad, watch, switch, your TV. You can connect these to your TV because most of those things are Bluetooth, like your Android boxes, your Apple TV, Amazon TV. You can connect this seamlessly to those via Bluetooth. So if you walk into a room, you have 6 devices that this thing compared to. Which devices is it going to jump to? So with the app, you can tell it, I want my second device to be my TV, or I want it to be my iPad, or I want it to be my Switch. You can dictate that with a toggle in the app that it has. I mentioned this before. It's super comfortable. I hardly ever take the thing off. A lot of times I'll get in the bed, I'm like, oh, let me take this thing off, because I just forget it's there. It's that light. It does not bug me unless, like I said, I only know it's there if I go to push back on something and it'll remind me there, and I make the adjustment and I'm fine. But it's a awesome upgrade from all those other things. I still think over the head for situations where you just want the world to disappear. Obviously, this doesn't have what's the term I'm looking for? When it blocks out everything else. You know what I'm talking about. Well, it's escaping me. Obviously, this doesn't block out everything, so that's a con if you want to be able to do that. This has none of that, right? Some of the other devices, let me just pause. Okay, so noise cancellation is the word I was looking for. No noise cancellation at all because there's nothing in your ear. Noise cancellation technology works because it seals off your ears. But here's the reality: if you're on an airplane, you want to be able to um, seal out the engine noise. You can put earplugs in. You know, you can always put earplugs in if you needed that for that rare situation, because that's all those things are doing, acting like a um, earplug, but giving you sound. Because this sound doesn't go through your ear, you don't need your ear at all to hear, so you can always plug those up with earplugs. So just know that. Um, but as far as for communication, day-to-day use, listen to music, listen to shows and things like that, these things work absolutely perfectly. And I think I've covered everything with it. 2-year warranty on this thing. They're expensive, $200. Um, you can get any of those other versions without the boom for cheaper than that, and they'll work otherwise the same. But if you've never tried Shokz, I encourage you to go check them out. But I love these um, devices here. This is called the OpenComm2 UC. They have an OpenComm. This is the OpenComm2. And I think the difference is the original OpenComm, the charging thing was like a magnetic cable that was proprietary, and you had to have that special thing. The OpenComm 2 has USB-C charging, so you can charge it with any USB-C device or a cable, so that eliminates that, and that's perfect. But the OpenComm 2 UC specifically is the one that has the dongle that I'm using with my phone here, and you can use for your PC to allow you to have that direct communication. Uh, it's still Bluetooth from that device to this, I'm assuming, but it's not seen as a Bluetooth device on the device I am on. My phone for this camera app, you know, when you click the video, it thinks it's a wired device because it's plugged in, the same as if I had a wired device plugging in. It sees it as a wired device. I've been talking to you for 25 minutes now. There's no break in communication. There's no wave, no air wave being interrupted with my hand going between it, you know what I mean? Because it is a signal. You don't have any of that. The thing just simply works. And I don't really have that issue with the Bluetooth. When I have it in Bluetooth mode, which is the mode I have it in most of the time, um, because I cannot use this headset to record the audio, like say with my CapCut software, but I can with this dongle. Otherwise, it's just using the mic on the microphone on the phone. It's going to ignore this Bluetooth mic. It's going to It's going to prefer and use the built-in mic. But here, I can walk around and talk to you. I can go 30 feet away. As a matter of fact, I'll just walk away for you just to see. So this is a wireless mic, so you're hearing the same thing whether I'm in front of you or not in front of you. I could go upstairs. I don't know what the distance is, probably 30 feet or so. But with the Bluetooth, I walk around. I leave my phone on the charger somewhere, and I can just walk around anywhere in my normal house without any issues. And I cannot say the same thing like with my Pixel Buds. That range was much lower. So if you're using this device for your work PC, let's say you're on a Zoom call, you can be talking on a Zoom call, you can get up and walk around. You don't have to be constrained by the wire that we normally do with those headsets. And when you get off the Zoom call, you can immediately start playing music on your phone and things like that. So it works with your PC, works with your handset, your phone, your devices seamlessly. Um, so this is the USB. It just says Shokz on it. There's nowhere in here for this thing to store. It would be nice if there's a little pocket here, then you can kind of plug that in and have that stored. Um, if the Shokz is in here, this is totally molded for the Shokz, so it can't fit in here and be tucked in. and be held in by the thing. You can, like I said, you can tuck it in with these wires, with this wire, USB wire, but there's no guarantee that that's going to stay in there. You know what I mean? It's just that is like they didn't design this case for this, and they came up with this idea. Going forward, they should have a storage spot for this dongle. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Definitely take a look at the links in the description. I'll put a couple of their products out there for you to click on and take a look at it. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. And let me know in the comments, what headset do you use for work, for play? What do you prefer? Why you like it? I'd love to hear your comments. I will respond. And until next time, I'll see you on the web.
Yeah. Thanks for watching Detroit Love. Don't forget to like, share, and sub. Drop a comment, let us know what you feel. Your voice makes us all more real. So until next time, keep spreading that cred, and I'll see you on the web.